Welcome once again, nerds, to a quick reaction. This is a game trailer teaser reaction. This is the Virtua Fighter. What is the title? Let me pull it back up. Virtua Fighter Project. New Virtua Fighter Project combat gameplay first look in the training stage. Video is approximately 1 minute and 8 seconds long, but being as I am a fan of the SGC, FGC, I can say words, aka the fighting game community, and I partake as much as I can, primarily in Mortal Kombat, though I do eventually plan on getting Street Fighter 6 and also Tekken 8. It's just I'm spending all of my time in Mortal Kombat 1. I can't help myself. This, though, is a new step forward, I think, from everything we have seen about this game until now, which I have yet to watch this because this is a reaction, which means I keep all of my reactions as legit as possible. So I do not watch the content before I do the reaction, which sometimes plays out very poorly for me and sometimes doesn't. Either way, Virtua Fighter, we got to do the card thing. So, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, like we almost just did with the intro, we have a couple of things to get out of the way. First and foremost, super proud of this design up on the store. If you want this on a t-shirt, on a hoodie, on a few other things that I have put it on, I'm really fond of the t-shirts. The Bella Canvas shirts are super comfy. And also, it's death metal Phantom of the Opera, calling him a nerd. Like this, everything about this is so awesome. Anyway, that is up on the store. That is my current favorite design. I was going to make this a special, like, limited edition design, but I love it too much. It's staying in the damn store. So go check that out. Links in the descriptions. Also, channel partner, you're going to see me taking drinks from time to time out of this guy right here. What I have in here currently is my Dubby S'mores. So s'mores, normally you just mix with milk or your favorite milk alternative because, like, legitimately the best way to do this, I've done it with milk, lactose-free milk because, you know, I'm not a mutant, unfortunately. But I've done it with cow's milk. I've done it with almond milk. I've done it with oat milk. Oat milk is really good with the s'mores. The best way to do it, though, so far in all of my experimentation, is coconut milk. The s'mores in coconut milk is beyond chef's kiss. It is just so damn tasty. This morning, I have experimented with strawberry milk. There is a brand of dairy-free or lactose-free milk called Bored Cow, and they make a strawberry, so that's what this is. Strawberry's good. The best by far, though, is coconut. What sets Dubby apart from other energy drink brands, aside from the fact that they make a s'mores flavor... Sorry, I'm going to mess with the camera real quick. There, that looks better. So the thing that makes Dubby better, in my opinion, at the very least, which I've partaken in many different energy drinks, the thing that makes Dubby better is the nootropic blend, the stuff that they have in there besides just the caffeine that is for your brain, so that you can, if you're working out, you get a better mind-muscle connection. If you are just at your day-to-day 9 to 5, you get better focus. The nootropic blend that they have is by far the most effective in my experimentation on myself. And I've experimented extensively with energy drinks. So that legitimate, like, full disclosure, like, the reason I approached them for the channel partnership was because I knew it was kind of easy to get a channel partnership with them. So I got my first tub of Dubby and went, oh, this is a legitimate thing that I want to continue doing. I was going to try it for a tub, and if I didn't like it when I got that first tub, I was just going to stop with the channel partnership because, yes, it's easy to get, but this is totally worth it. These guys, there's a reason why they're doing everything they can to get themselves out there, is because they have a product that is worth your time and they think it's pretty great. So they're pretty pretty handy to partner up with YouTube channels and podcasters and such. So go check out w.gg. Code generally nerdy at checkout will get you 10% off. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rambling read, but it's great stuff. I fully love it. Anyway, let's do our what are we? Oh, Virtua Fighter. That's right. Almost forgot. History with the brand. I have played Virtua Fighter since PlayStation 1. I had a PlayStation 1. Still have my PlayStation 1. It's actually right there. PlayStation 1, I played Virtua Fighter. I've always played fighting games. Virtua Fighter was a fighting game. I was a bit of a fan. It was a lot more depth than I was used to out of a fighting game. The whole 3D element was pretty nuts to my preteen brain, my adolescent brain at the time. Still, honestly, one of the deepest fighting games out there, even those first few ones, the early ones. And it's just only gotten better and more deep. And if you're looking for something that you can pick up fairly easily, like it's not as much of a button masher as, say, Mortal Kombat, but you can still pick it up fairly easy and get really hooked. And then you can spend days and days and weeks and months figuring out the depth of this game only to just scratch the surface. That's generally my exposure with Virtua Fighter. So that's kind of my history with it. We'll if we ever do anything more with it, we'll get into the actual history of the franchise. Let's get into expectations for this little gameplay sneak. Judging by the thumbnail, this is going to be just more of that insane detailed stuff that they've been teasing for a little while now. That a lot of us, myself included, I'm guilty, myself included. A lot of us thought that it was pre-rendered, or like it was using an engine that was not an in-game engine at first, or something to that effect. And I don't know, judging from the thumbnail, this looks like it's gonna be just a little bit nuts. So that's my expectations. I fully expect to be blown away. Now, the depth of combat and the feel, I think we're going to get a better look at that here in this tease. So I'm hopeful that they will continue with the awe factor in that regard. I guess that's all of our expectations. Let's do the thing and go to the reaction screen. And we will jump right into this. All right, so right off the bat, we're looking at not really much more detail than Tekken 8. Like, still highly detailed, still great looking character models, but not quite the same as that first tease. So we were probably right about that first tease. I really like the...
Ready, go!
It looks a lot like the Street Fighter practice arena, but it's a 3D playing field and not a 2.5. Damn. Yeah, the depth of combat is absolutely insane. I like that. Let's go back to that. That's really cool. So we have... It was right here. There's so much going on right now. Let's get back. So... All right. So that the dodge, the ability to dodge, is that because he was getting up? Is that because that's the way they have pre-rendered this? Like, I don't doubt that what we're looking at is rendered in the in-game engine. Like, that's very likely. That's probable, actually. But that's not to say that it is in-game mechanics. So is that dodge of him, the way he got up, was that an intentional dodge? A, was that like the hurt and hit boxes, are they that specific? B, Or is that just pre-rendered using game engine and is not going to be an actual element of gameplay once the game finally comes out? But we get a little bit more of that there. And there. That one looked like it might have been... Oh, wow. What is going on? We're doing this. Where are you? I gotta... Is it this one? Gameplay, there it is. No, that's not the one. What are you? What do I have you named as? Because this cam with frame. No, VLC media. That is what it is. Okay, so what? I can't zoom. Why can't I zoom? This is insane. Whatever. If you can see that, yeah, whatever. If you can see that, it looks like his hand is coming out of her booty. Like the collision detection is not happening super well right here. That is a little ridiculous. That's borderline pornographic, unintentionally, of course. But like, we have some really insane like evasive maneuvers and stuff. Hey, buddy, chill out. Sorry, there's very loud cars outside and he's freaking out. So and then that we already talked about that and again, collision detection, not super awesome. That looks like it was something that could be pulled off in game. So far, that and then the face palm thing where she parried or dodged rather also seemed like potentially in-game stuff. But the cinematography around that seemed like it was pre-rendered in-game engine. So this coming up is the thing that I wanted to talk about when we started this whole rabbit hole. Right there. So that apparently is connecting some sort of power move. Again, it's been a little while since I played Virtua Fighter, so if my lingo is not accurate, I apologize and please correct me. But so it looks like he's connected some sort of power move, which has made her fuzzy, dizzy, something like that. Because if you watch the next little bit, her character is not really moving. Like affected by that. And then again, power move connected, and she's actively, so it's like the dizzy mechanic in Street Fighter, but a little bit less passive, a little more active. That's pretty cool. That is the realism I was talking about. That looks like it really feels like that is not in game engine. I guess it really could be though. Looking at it this close, you can even see the tear in his hat. I don't know, man. Some part of me really thinks this might be pre-rendered. But gaming consoles are so powerful now, it very possibly could be game engine. That's bonkers. And the loss of the tooth kind of also makes me feel like it's pre-rendered. Or also a possibility, they have a different engine that renders those cinema moves, for lack of a better word right now is what we're going to call them, where it zooms in on that. So perhaps maybe it's a finishing when you finish them with a power move or something along those lines. It switches rendering engines to that, so it only has to render like the close-up shot of whatever your final hit was. That seems to be slightly more likely, though I'm not a coder, so I have no idea how difficult such a thing would be to do, to code that kind of switching back and forth between engines. But I mean, I would imagine it's possible. So I think that's the end of what they gave us. Virtua Fighter Project. More details at TGS 2025. Interesting. All right, I'm down. Like, just the more I learn about this new Street Fighter, the more I'm intrigued. That is for damn sure. So, I lost my place. There we go. So that brings us to our final verdict. Yes, more, please. Give me more of the Virtua Fighters. Give me more of anything you got for this game, because I'm super intrigued by what's happening here. The further future implications for the FGC and in general, I think is really cool, because if they put out something that is that detailed in mechanics and in visuals, like, that just makes everyone else want to step their game up that much more. So kind of bringing this one on home back to Mortal Kombat, which is where I spend most of my time in the fighting game community. Mortal Kombat right now is one of the more realistic as far as the art style goes in all of the games. You've got a lot of the 2D fighters. I'm going to not remember words again because the ADHD, the caffeine hasn't properly kicked in. I'm sorry. I just started drinking my Dubby. But so, like, your proper side scrollers, the anime ones. Why am I not thinking of any of them? There's legitimately a slew of them. We just got done with Evo. What is wrong with my brain? So you got those ones. Those obviously are not shooting for realism. And then you have the 2.5 of Street Fighter 6, which is happening right now. The 2.5D there, very stylized, still in the same anime style vein of previous iterations of the franchise, which is kind of their shtick. So they're not going for realism. Tekken is in a similar vein as far as art style to Street Fighter, in that it's kind of an anime look. It's a little bit more detailed and realistic these days than it was previously, but still, by and large, anime look. So the only ones that are shooting for realism as far as, like, the main players in the genre go is really Virtua Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Like, please correct me if I'm missing one, but so as far as visuals go, because obviously Mortal Kombat's never going to be this in-depth as far as gameplay mechanics, but as far as visuals go, if they're this detailed for this game, Mortal Kombat, for its next iteration, or whatever NetherRealm does next, probably Injustice 3, or very potentially also Mortal Kombat versus DC is on the table, but the realism factor in their next game is going to be bumped up. Also, there's been rumors that they're switching over to Unreal 5, which would make their situation much more detailed as well, instead of running their proprietary engine. So, yes, final verdict. Give me more. I want more, please. That's what we got. So thank you very much, nerds, for sticking around to the end and listening to me babble for about 20 minutes about this 1 minute trailer. And we'll see you next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's genuinely nerdy, it's probably here.